I had a lot of debt. Yeah, a lot of debt. A lot of bad mistakes too, though. So today I am sharing with you guys all my top 5 bad money habits, bad money mistakes that I had to break to get myself out of debt. All right, so the first bad money habit is not knowing when your bills are due. And this was completely me. I had no idea when my bills were due. Like, this included my visa, my cell phone bill, any of these things other than rent. I knew rent was always the first of the month, but all the rest of them, I had no idea. And what was happening was I was spending way too much money on penalties, interest, I was missing payments, and just a complete mess when it came to organization. So if there's one thing that can help set you back on a path of like being more organized with your finances, it's knowing when all of your bills are actually due so you don't miss any of the due dates. Okay, so the second bad money habit or mistake is actually a mindset one. And this is believing that debt is normal. And, I think it's interesting because our parents didn't grow up with as much debt as we did. I don't think credit cards were the norm, that's for sure. Whereas we have tons of debt. We usually start off our 20s with student loan debt. We soon get line of credit debt. If we have a house, we might even be tempted to get the home equity line of credit and put other purchases on there as well. And what it kind of creates is this culture of debt. And before you know it, it's kind of normal to have a balance on your credit card or not pay it off every month. And having that sort of become normalized prevents, getting out of debt because you just sort of see it as normal. So to switch this around, you really got to start thinking that, it's not normal to have debt, or otherwise frame it in the positive, as in it's actually normal to not carry a balance. It's normal to pay off my credit card in full, and really sort of shift yourself out of that old way of thinking and into this new way of thinking. And once you get there, it'll help motivate wanting to pay off the debts. Get to that point where no, like it's not, you don't have that debt carrying, or you don't have that debt lingering. But yeah, that was a really big issue with me where I had a balance and it just became so normal. I'd see the interest that I, accrued at the end of each month, and it just became normal. Like, yeah, of course, like everybody pays interest, everybody has credit card debt. I think when it really hit me was once I saw that the amount of interest that I was paying each month between my lines of credit, my credit cards, was getting into the hundreds of dollars. That's when it really started to feel very uncomfortable, and I didn't want to live like that anymore. So yeah, for me, really just believing that I did not want to have any debt. I didn't want to carry any debt. I wanted to have assets. That's really when things started switching, and I really wanted to pay off that debt because I didn't want to attract any more interest. I wanted to earn interest, not pay interest. So what was happening for me, because I didn't have a budget, I didn't have a plan for my money, was that I spent a lot of money on things that honestly I didn't need to. So a lot of very wasteful spending. Now that I have been on a budget, and I have been on a strict budget for the last year and a half, it's been honestly incredible how much more money I've been able to save and truly save. Not only that, but I find that having a budget makes me want to underspend. So when I'm given a target, like I want to make sure that I'm underspending on that. For example, food. I never shop the sales, whereas now I give myself $200 to $250 every 2 weeks. And because I know I only have that amount, as soon as I start shopping the sales, I want to know where the cheapest meat is. I want to know when cheese is on sale, those sort of things. And these were, great money saving opportunities that I would just let slip by. I never paid attention to how much money I was spending on groceries or clothes or just, little things here and there. And so much money slipped through my hands that way. Yeah, it was unreal. So, even if you are earning enough money right now that, things are maybe a little tight, but you're still very comfortable, having a budget will just help, you know, make sure that all of your hard-earned dollars aren't going to waste. They're not getting spent on things that don't need to be spent. All right, so now we are on number 4. So the fourth bad money habit or money mistake that I made was not having a savings account. And the reason why this was a bad money habit or a bad money mistake is just that I didn't have that habit of saving ingrained in me. And it's more the habit more than anything, because I was in this mindset of I just wanted to pay down my debt. I just wanted to pay down my debt. But it was kind of like as soon as any room opened up, I would then spend it. Whereas if I had a savings account, there was going to be more of a concept of wanting to put money into that account. And to me, a savings account is like money that is free, clear, not going to get spent. It's kind of like home free when, you know, we were kids and we played tag and stuff. Like, this money is home free, can't spend it, it is saved. And that, yeah, and by not having the savings account, I just wasn't in the mindset of saving or in the desire to put money aside. As soon as I opened up my savings account, that goal of putting money home free or saving it became so much more apparent. And just by simply having the savings account, the goal was then there to put money into it. All right, guys, here is the 5th bad money mistake or bad money habit. That is just generally being very disorganized with my finances. I'm sure you may have heard that in the past, I didn't even open up my bills. Like, I had stacks of about 3 years worth of Visa bills that I never even opened. There could be fraudulent charges and I would have no idea because I never opened up my bills. I just pile them on. But not only that, not only being disorganized with my bills, not knowing when to pay my bills, it was just always a disaster come tax time because I never knew where anything was. Not only that, being disorganized or not being on top of it would hurt me because I never realized when my line of credit percentages were increasing. I didn't realize that, you know, I had room on my line of credit and I could have consolidated some of my Visa debt onto there. It was just honestly a big blur where I would just throw money at bills and creditors and not really know what was going on. But as soon as I actually got organized, developed a file system, developed routines, like my bi-weekly routine where I go through all my finances and I check all my transactions that I've made, everything started falling into place. I became more in tune with my finances and knowing more like the value of things as well, because I wasn't spending money on random useless stuff anymore, and I was being able to make proper decisions. Like, you know, is that new jacket really worth it? You know, different things like that. Or like I'd realize that like, well, you know, I actually only have like $20 left at the end of this month. No, I can't buy a $300 jacket or whatever it may have been. And yeah, just also knowing that as soon as I got clear with my goals of wanting to own a house and become a homeowner again, you know, things like, you know, small purchases or Starbucks started to become not as appealing because I was more focused on the bigger picture financial goals. So absolutely not being organized with my finances was probably the biggest thing that was hurting me. And just even taking little baby steps towards getting, you know, taking a look at where my financial position was, taking a look at all the balances that I owed, you know, really started the gears in motion to getting things organized and being on top of my finances, paying down my debt. Hey guys, so those were my top 5 big money mistakes or bad money habits. I hope you enjoyed this. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe below, press the like, leave me a comment. Let me know what your top money mistakes are if I missed any. I had a lot of fun making this and I hope to make more for you. Bye.